We're going to be talking to Ben, a very experienced electrician from Boxer Electrical, about common issues that come up in investment properties and making sure your property is compliant electrically and with smoke alarms. It's really important to make sure that your property is compliant and to understand a little bit more about the hazards that could occur in your house and how to make sure the tenants are maintaining the property as best they can. So thanks for joining us today, Ben.
Oh, no worries, David.
I understand you're a Sparky and you've been a Sparky for a while?
Yeah, I've been an electrician for 16 years now. I've been out on my own for 6 years. Prior to that, I was working in a power station in the heavy industrial sector.
Wow, okay. And so you've got your own business now, Boxer Electrical?
Yep, yes.
Yeah, great. We just want to ask you a few questions that a lot of people have about electrical issues that come up. Are there some electrical issues that you find come up a lot in your daily, in your daily travels?
The most common electrical faults I get called up for in rentals are usually broken power points or switches.
Okay.
Also, ovens not working is another one that I get a lot of. Usually that's just an element, so it's not too bad. And probably the third one would be hot water not working. Probably be my top three.
Okay, and is there something that we can do to test these things, or to try and make sure that they actually don't need to be repaired, or is it just age? They just age and they break with time.
One simple check you can do is just check your meter box to make sure it hasn't tripped out. That's one simple check you can do that anyone can do.
Okay.
Apart from that, yeah, if it's not tripped, or if it keeps tripping, yeah, that's definitely the time to call the electrician in or the real estate to get someone in to look.
So it's just wear and tear, just old age, they're just breaking.
Yep.
Okay, great. And are there any dangerous things that we should be looking out for, tenants or owners should be looking out for in their properties that could potentially be life-threatening or really hazardous that we just not aware of?
Yep. It's mainly just your broken switches and power points, especially like in bathroom areas. Because you got wet hands in there usually, and it's not a very good mix, water and electricity. So yeah.
No, definitely not. Okay, so that's something definitely to watch out for.
Yep.
And in terms of compliance, we know that every rental property needs to have electrical safety switch compliance.
Yep.
Could you please just walk us through what that actually means, and what does a landlord actually need to do to make sure their property is compliant in that regard?
It's a good idea to have them checked every 12 months to make sure they are working in a working condition, and they've got to trip within a certain time frame. So usually I get them checked every 12 months or lease re-sign, and usually do them with your smoke alarm as well, because they've got to be checked every 12 months or every lease re-sign, whichever comes first. So it's usually one check. I'm on site, check all the smoke alarms, check the safety switches, and issue a compliance certificate. Okay,
so an average person can't just check the safety switch themselves. It's not something you can do. You actually need to get the Sparky to come in to make sure it's actually working correctly.
It is a good idea every few months if you just go out and hit the test button to make sure it does work. Anyone can do that, but I've got a special machine that measures the time that it trips in, and then I record that. Okay,
great. So you actually do need to get someone to come out to make sure it's actually functioning correctly to sign it off.
It's a good idea, at least once every 12 months to get them checked.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
And now you mentioned just now about smoke alarms as well, doing smoke alarm compliance. That's a massive issue.
Yep.
As we know in Queensland, there's all these new rules that have come in about smoke alarms, what type of smoke alarms they need to be, where they need to be, and how often they need to be checked.
Yep.
If you don't mind just running us through what that means and what we need to be doing.
Yep. So the rules changed as of the 1st of January 2022. The new legislation come into place where smoke alarms had to be in all your bedrooms and the passages connecting them, like your hallways, or if there's a bedroom off a living area. They've all got to be either hardwired or 10-year non-removable batteries, and they've got to be a photoelectric type. And they've all got to be interlinked, which is a big one too.
Okay, great. Okay, and so that's what they need to be. So once they're installed by someone who knows what they're doing, like a Sparky like yourself, do they need to be monitored regularly?
Every 12 months or every lease re-sign, whichever comes first. So yeah, there's at least a check every 12 months to make sure they are still functioning. They're clean, the batteries are still good in them, in the 240 alarms for the backup. Anyone can do it, that one. So like usually a smoke alarm company or an electrician does that. They come in and do the check every time, and they do a compliance certificate. So the big thing is to have your compliance certificate, so you're covered.
Okay, great. So that's something you could get a Sparky to come in and do, or you could actually do it yourself, you're saying as well, by pressing the test button
Yep.
and cleaning it yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but you got to issue a certificate to say it has been checked, just in case anything does happen, and then you're covered.
You're covered, yeah. When you've got to get a job done and it involves an electrician, there's so many different electricians out there. You know, what kind of things should someone be looking for when they're looking to hire an electrician to get a job? Like, I guess I mean in terms of quality and in terms of licensing. Is there certain licensing you need to do the electrical work? Is there certain insurance you need? And, you know, is a Sparky a Sparky? Does everyone do the same job?
Yep, good question. So all electrical work must be carried out by a licensed and insured electrician. An easy way to check that, there's actually a website you can go into, electrical license checking. So you can either type in the business name or the license number, and it'll bring up if it's current, if they're insured, how long they've been insured for, if they've ever had any breaches on their license. So that'll all come up. So that's a good way to check. Another good thing is to look at Google reviews, to other people have reviewed them and had work done by them. That's another good way to check.
Okay, great. So once you call them up and you had a bit of a chat to them, I guess it's just checking to make sure they've got the good reviews and check to make sure their license is good.
Yep.
And then when it comes down to cost, you know, I've noticed that there's a lot of different pricing models people use. Some people seem to quote by the job, and some people tend to quote by the hour. I guess that's just the way it works, is it? I mean, what would you recommend people look for in terms of pricing?
Depends on the size of the job. If it's a straightforward job, it shouldn't be that expensive. But I usually just charge by the hour for rental work, because you don't know until you get there what you're going to be walking into. Usually for bigger renovation work, you can go and quote, because you know exactly what they want done and what's going to happen. Whereas when you go out to fault find on a property, if they don't know what the issue is, you don't know how long you're going to be there for. So that's usually an hourly rate scenario.
Okay. So I guess the best thing is to find an electrician that you trust, that you have a good relationship with, that you know is going to look after you, get the job done at a reasonable price, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Oh,
well, thanks so much for joining us today, Ben.
That's all right.
Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for that valuable information.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Look
Happy to help
forward
out.
to continue working with you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
No worries. Thank you.